Hello, welcome to Swiss Watch Camp. Welcome to a very special video. Today we have a very good friend on the channel, Christopher Daaboul from EsperLuxe, or how I like to call you, Chris. What's up, bro? Welcome to Zurich. That was a weird handshake. What was that? Hello, welcome to Swiss Watch Camp. Welcome to a special video. Today I have my very good friend Chris on the channel. Christopher Daaboul is the founder of EsperLuxe. You are my first watch collector on the channel back in 2019. If you haven't seen that video, link in the description. Chris, thank you for coming to Zurich. Thank you for seeing me. How you been, bro?
I'm good. It's been an interesting couple of years since we last saw each other in 2019, and obviously then COVID happened, so nobody could travel and do anything. So it's good to be back out and about and being able to come to Switzerland and hang out and see the spot. And,
yes.
Which this is my first time here, so since you moved to a bigger location, so it's good to be here, man.
Yeah, we're shooting in our studio. This is one of the rooms. Usually we're shooting with my other backdrop, but today we decided to mix it up a bit, make it more casual. So Chris, what's new at EsperLuxe?
So, we've been really lucky. It's very blessed. It's been a great couple of years, which was weird, right? Like COVID happens and then business booms. Who would have thought?
Yeah, nobody.
Yeah, right. And so, we've taken on a few new brands as authorized retail partners. With Urwerk into Bethune, and we work with Angelus and Arnold and Son, and a couple more that are coming on board now. Kadoka and Moritz Grossman, two German brands.
Nice.
That we're super excited about.
Which I really like.
Yeah, they're doing outstanding work. And I think German independent watchmaking is going to have a moment too. I think that's coming along. So we're super excited about that. And also we're going to be announcing very soon our first brick and mortar gallery called Tempus.
Congratulations.
Tempus is going to be Tempus and EsperLuxe Gallery will be our first sort of venture into the brick and mortar. We started out
digital,
we started out digital and in person, sort of a concierge service. We were also doing events, bringing our clients over to Switzerland, bringing watchmakers over to the US and doing collector dinners. And now is finally the right time to start with a more of a brick and mortar environment that we can have people come in, hang out, relax, see what's good, see some of the cool things, learn. Learn about all these beautiful brands and the people behind them. And so we're really excited about that. We'll be making that announcement very soon. And of course, the gallery's in the Boston area. So that's keeping me busy, along with, a crazy market right now. I mean, it's just the reality of what's happening.
100%, yeah. Today I want to touch base with you on the state of the watch collecting industry, particularly in the independent watchmaking space. Because people are used to mainstream brands like Rolex, Patek, AP, RM getting high resale prices. But we've seen a huge increase in the last year, 2 years, I would say, for the majority of these brands. How does that affect your business, or how does it affect, let's say, maybe getting watches, or clients' wishes, or?
Look, initially it was great, right? And I think it's still great. It's just a different dynamic that we have to deal with today. There are different elements that have contributed to such a hot market, right? There's definitely a lot of money out there, and people really don't want to be sitting on cash. I think you saw a lot of saving during COVID that boosted spending. People weren't able to travel. They weren't able to spend it on things that they normally spend it on, and so we saw, and they were at home. They were looking at their phones, and they just said, okay, well, how can I add to my collection, right? Yeah. So that kind of kick-started it, and brands that were primed and that were, that were prepared, both, from a product standpoint, from a branding standpoint, just in general, I think capitalized on that and did well. Obviously, not obviously, but I think none of this could be happening if the top tier brands didn't have so much demand.
Yeah.
To me, that's a big contributing element to what we're seeing on the independent side. With Rolex, Patek, AP, Richard Mille, maybe you could put Jordan into that category now. I mean, if there wasn't so much, if there wasn't really so much demand at the top for that stuff, and because of the lack of supply, right, we're seeing trickle down, right? And then now people are just, aside from, the core collectors that we all knew and we had before, now we're seeing new people venture into this market.
Yeah.
With all this demand at the very top and then trickle down happening, it doesn't take much demand on the independent side because of scarcity of production.
And low production
most of the brands and watchmakers that we work with make less than 300 watches a year. And so a very small uptick could basically dry up the market. And so I think that's definitely an element. I think you have the dynamic of the secondary market playing a big role now, both in terms of the supply and the demand, and the auction play, right? Like this wasn't a thing before. At least it was a thing for maybe Rolex and Patek, and they were playing that game, right? And now you see kind of everybody contributing to that. And then, of course, once people are discovering these beautiful brands and what they do, they're kind of getting hooked on it.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
However, that's now creating another challenge, and with supply shortages and a great demand, we're having to now have to choose. Who do we allocate watches to? And in some cases, not with all brands, but it's definitely not an enjoyable thing. When you have to turn down people and not make people happy. I was used to making people happy. Yeah, that was the thing. And it seems that now, with the market being this hot, you make more people unhappy than happy.
Yeah, and, for sure.
I guess be careful what you wish for. You might actually get it.
Yeah.
But I hope that more brands will be discovered because of this. My suggestion to people is widen your horizons a little bit. It's sure we all want to focus on some of the core indies that are out there.
Yeah.
But the reality is, if we still want to enjoy this hobby, we've got to be able to widen our horizons and find the next one. Yeah.
So today we brought a few watches here that we're going to talk about and take a closer look, which is really cool because rarely you have a selection like this on the table of this variety in different brands.
Yeah.
So we've got a Cyrus watch, a Urwerk, MB&F, and also something very special on your wrist, which we're going to talk about at the end of the show. Let's maybe get into Cyrus, because it's also a brand you represent, right?
Yeah, so, Cyrus is one of those up-and-coming brands.
Yeah.
Right? So we just talked about that a little bit earlier. It hasn't been around for too long, but I think it's one of those brands that has the potential to truly... First of all, they're already creating some incredibly innovative projects, innovative watches, spearheaded by Jean-François Maujon, who's their master watchmaker. And the head of Chronode, and he's really the watchmaking brains behind what Cyrus is doing in collaboration with the Richard family that owns the brand. And this is their newest release, which is the Klepsis Dice, which is a double independent chronograph evolution. So it's really interesting because as far as I know, there's really nothing in the market that's like this.
No.
It's a double independent chronograph with double column wheels, so you could time two things at the same time or separately, and they're both independent from each crown that's operated by the twin crown, the signature twin crown of the Klepsis case from Cyrus. Over 500 components, or it was like 483 components, I think, which is quite incredible. Very impressive.
Two column wheels, different colors, huh?
Yep, titanium case. It's ultralight titanium case. I think they've got some things that was working really well for them. Price-wise as well, great value for what you're getting.
For sure.
36,700, so 36,700 for the polished version, and I believe it's 37,000 for the DLC version as well.
The full black one, huh?
The full black one.
Which is also cool.
Which is also very cool. Yeah, really nice with the rubber strap.
I love this watch because the column wheels are actually on separate levels.
Yeah,
very deep.
That's right.
They don't overlap, and the hours are actually on the sapphire discs.
Yes.
As well as the subdials.
That's right, also.
Super cool.
Yeah.
A lot of attention to detail with this watch, and I think this is something many overlook. Like you said, there is still a few brands which people didn't discover fully yet, so I think this would be a good purchase. Again, double chronograph for 37 retail.
Yeah, I mean,
independent watchmaker.
Manufacturer movement. Yeah,
it's great.
Pretty outstanding.
Also good size on the wrist. I have an 18.1 centimeter wrist size. You can see
it's
like
42 millimeters. Obviously, it's a little thicker because you've got a lot going on in there. So it
looks good.
Yeah.
You have the double crowns. Everything is matching basically. So the red crown is for the red hand.
That's right.
And the red miniature of the chronograph. So you immediately know where to look. No, I like this watch a lot.
Yeah.
And also the vertical tourbillon screw from Cyrus. I mean, they've got some cool stuff.
That's a really cool piece too.
Yeah.
And my favorite is the vertical skeleton tourbillon, the two-tone.
Yes.
Very cool piece.
So the next brand we see pretty often on your channel, and again, you are the official point of sale for Urwerk in Boston or US. What is this beauty?
So we go from an up and coming younger independent to one of the pioneers of the independent OG watchmaking watchmaking brand and watchmakers with Felix Baumgartner on the watchmaking side and Martin Fry on the design side. And this is a very special piece.
I've never seen it.
This is the UR202S full metal jacket Altine. Altine stands for aluminum nitride.
Yeah.
And that's the type of finish that you see on here. It's a really interesting finish that I've only seen with Urwerk doing on a couple of models.
Very clean as well.
So they did 25 pieces in this finish, and they did 25 pieces in the polished steel.
Which we reviewed, huh?
This is a very important piece.
Yeah.
And historically, as a historical reference for Urwerk. First, it's the first bracelet watch that Urwerk produced.
Yeah.
And the story is very interesting. Felix went to Masipoli SA, which is the manufacturer of Cartier and EP bracelets. At that time, he wanted to do a bracelet for a bracelet watch. And, sat down and went through, all of it. And they're like, okay, great. Like, how many do you want to make? 50. And, they look at him like he's got 3 heads. Which a lot of people look at Felix like he's got 3 heads because of, Urwerk. They're looking at creative. It's insane, right?
Lives in space.
And so, and they just really loved the philosophy of Urwerk and what Felix is doing so much that they were willing to do it at an incredibly reduced price.
Yeah.
And so this is a bracelet that is manufactured by Masipoli SA. This watch is no longer in production. This is I think a 10-year-old, a 10-year-old reference.
Yeah.
Is the only available piece in the world, so it's very rare.
Yeah. And if somebody wants to actually buy this exact piece, they just contact you.
Yes, yeah, you can.
This is not like your personal watch or anything.
Right.
It's not mine, unfortunately.
There's some other interesting elements about this watch that make it very special as well. It features the first automatic winding caliber that Urwerk introduced, which was then used in the 105. And that is the twin turbine with stop control feature that you have available.
So you can choose this basically depends on what activity.
Let's just say you're being very active and you don't want the rotor to be spinning around like crazy. Yeah. You can put it to medium control, or you can put it to full stop and turn the watch into a manual wind.
Yeah, so cool.
Very cool. I don't know if anybody else has done anything like that before.
Nothing comes to mind.
It's also one of 2 Urwerk models only to feature a moon phase. The other is the Urwerk 106, as
the latest
you reminded me.
Beautiful watch.
Beautiful watch. But this is also the first Urwerk that went from, where Urwerk went from 2D to 3D movement animation.
So from discs to these cubes.
That's right. It went from the wandering satellite hours of the 103 to the revolving cube system that we see here, and that was eventually, I guess, evolved into the 200, 210 and 220 series. And in this case, they also added this telescopic minute hand that retracts along the scale of the minute,
cool.
The minute scale. I mean, brilliant. Really just, and when you look at something like this, you cannot compare it to anything else that's out there, right?
100%.
It is so singular in design and also in movement architecture. And that's what makes Urwerk so special, is you cannot compare them to anything else, right? So super luminous all around. So this thing glows like crazy. In the
it's
dark.
like a spaceship on the wrist, like they always say.
It really is. It really is.
If you look at the shape from the side, the crystal is hard to make.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see how the hands basically disappear below the case on the side here.
And Urwerk is, finally getting the limelight now.
Yes.
This is, I believe, their 25th year.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a 25th anniversary year.
What is something like this retail for if somebody's like really interested to buy one?
Yeah, so the
Altine,
the retail price on the Altine version, this is a new watch. The retail price on the Altine version is $170,000.
Yeah.
And the secondary market really depends. I think, depending on the rarity and all that stuff.
Of course,
it could go anywhere from 120 to 170.
Yeah.
Right, depending on the model.
Yeah.
And limited 25 pieces in the Altine and 25 in steel.
Which is nothing. Yeah.
Which is,
And for those who don't know, Michael Jordan is one of the biggest, not the biggest maybe, but the big collector of Urwerk, right?
Yeah.
He's got many of those.
Yeah, he was recently photographed at the All-Star game, the NBA All-Star game, wearing his special customized MJ 220 or the 23 220 that they did in collaboration with him. Yeah. Martin also wears his 210 full metal jacket, and that was probably the piece that I think got me really interested in artwork. When I first saw it, it was just so different, so singular in design, conceptually. Like it just, look, a lot of times you either love or hate artwork. But like all great artists and all great creators, for a lot of people, you don't start understanding and catching on until a little bit later. Yeah. And I think a lot more people are catching on now.
Definitely something on my list. 105 T-Rex or this one, or the full metal jacket, or a 210. Any Urwerk basically, more or less. The last watch is also something many people ask me for. What do I think about it?
Yeah.
I've met some people who collect very high-end watches, which ask, what do you think about the Perpetual by MB&F? What is this one right here? And I always say that Max started basically almost the independent, not started it, but with the Opus line, I always say he made a big push for the independence.
100%. The way I look at things is Urwerk pioneered it, Max perpetuated it, and really brought more attention than ever before to the watchmakers and to the independent watch movement itself. Yeah. And this here is the Legacy Machine Perpetual in yellow gold, a limited edition of 25 pieces with a beautiful blue dial.
Gorgeous.
I mean, the contrast on this piece is just stunning. And again, my favorite's probably the titanium with the green dial, but this is a very close second. And I'm not a huge colored metal guy, but this does it for me. And the Legacy Machine Perpetual was a collaboration that Max did with the watchmaker Stephen McDonald, who's a self-taught watchmaker, which is quite incredible. Yeah. Apparently he was, I think, a theologian or a theology professor or something like that, and then he learned watchmaking on his own through books and YouTube and all that stuff, which is mind blowing.
Incredible.
And then he creates something like this, and you're like, what, And so leave it to Max to find people that do this stuff and come up with incredible creations and who have never been really heard about before, right? And so from a technical standpoint, it's brilliant because for the first time you have a perpetual calendar that has the wearer, the collector in mind.
Yes.
We've always had people have their horror stories about breaking their perpetual calendars and all that. And in this case, it's made specifically so that ease of use is like the number one thing. So rather than have a 31-day system or a long lever system, they created a mechanical processor, sort of like a stacked gear system. And so every single element of the perpetual calendar, in this case, the day, the date, the month, the leap year, is all independent.
Yeah.
And it's independently set, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
Awesome.
Right? And you can't break it. You know, you don't have to worry, you know, if it's close to midnight and you decide to change it. No, like, because it locks automatically, so you can't damage it, right? And then on top of that, for the very first time, you have a split escapement. So you see the balance wheel on top?
Yeah. But there's no...
Which is a flying balance wheel, and then you see the escapement on the backside.
The backside.
All the way down.
Impressive.
Yeah, it's, I mean, and also, like, yes, even though it is a 44 millimeter, but it's a small 44 millimeter.
But the lugs are the curve.
It wears so well.
On the wrist, I mean...
Yeah, I know.
Perfection.
I know.
And many people love this watch. Many do. With the floating balance wheel above the dial, you can see all the little components, power reserve as well. The dial is beautifully made, blued hands all over the place. I mean, yeah, dream watch for sure.
Yeah.
And with all these pushers, you can basically change the date, right, and everything.
Everything.
Awesome.
Yep.
And the movement, also a marvel. Beautifully beveled, mirror polishing, the split escapement here. Wow. So, how much is a watch like this?
So the retail, I believe, is 182,000.
It's a limited edition, right?
It's a limited edition of 25 pieces.
Yeah, nothing again. I mean, small amount.
Yeah, I believe this is currently the only one in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know of any others. And you know, the secondary market. This is a pre-owned piece. The secondary market, you know, is right now creeping up to 200,000.
Yeah. Wow. So it went up, huh?
Yeah.
Like most of the independents, like we've seen the past years, everything is either sold out or the prices went astronomically high.
Yeah, I think with scarcity on the new end of things, right? With new product being scarce and not as available, we're definitely seeing prices go up on the pre-owned because there's more demand for pre-owned.
Yeah,
right, across the board. And so, you know, with the really strong brands like MB&F, in certain cases like with Urwerk, you see now certain pieces going for premium.
So last but not least, we have a watch on your wrist, which again is one of the, I would say, 3 brands that I really want to own in the future. The Bethune DB28, and not a normal DB28. This is the first edition?
Yeah, so I think this is the first edition.
Okay.
So this is actually my personal watch, which, I mean, is sort of
don't contact him about
it's sort of a jewel in my crown. Like, I love this watch.
Yes.
You know me. I love ultra lightweight materials, but you know, I never ever thought that, you know, if you told me 4 years ago that you'd be able to own the Bethune and Urwerk and all these things, like, I'd tell you, like, yeah, like, dream come true, you know? Because I got into this business because I love the independents and the boutique brands that I discovered at the Palace years ago in Basel, but I couldn't afford them. And so I just wanted to work with them so I can have access and be able to see them. And, you know, I've been blessed that over the last few years, business has been so great that I've been able to get myself something that I truly love and enjoy. And
congratulations.
And thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, so I picked this piece up last year. This is the DB28, and it's the original, one of the original DB28s with the closed case back.
And a power reserve indication.
With a power reserve indicator on the back, that's right. And you know, there's so many cool elements about this watch and with what the Bethune does. Obviously, working with lightweight materials like titanium, Denis Flageolet is brilliant at metallurgy. Polishing titanium like this is quite incredible.
Yes.
And then you've got the Côte de Bethune on the front. It's all this beautiful open work dial. And you know, with the moon phase at 6 o'clock.
Yeah. Modern Breguet style hands.
Yes.
The Bethune style. Huh?
Yes, absolutely. And then the movement itself is outstanding. You know, you've got their mainspring that they developed. They have it's a twin barrels, I believe. And then they also have the parachute shock absorbing system that they've also developed. That's featured in there. It doesn't have the updated balance wheel that we see in that we now see in the updated DB28s. So this is one of the older ones. I think this piece is from 2011.
Yeah. I think they won the GPAG in 2011.
That's right. Yes. And then one of the coolest things is the spring-loaded articulated lugs.
Yes.
Which, so cool, fits so well on the wrist.
So
hugs it really
comfortable.
right. Even at a 43.5 millimeter, it's just so comfortable to wear.
And these are the long lugs.
These are the long lugs. These are the OG long lugs. They used to do long lugs and short lugs if you wanted the option. Now they just deliver all of them on medium lugs.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. And there's no crown on the side. It's on the top.
It's on the top.
Also to keep nice symmetry with everything.
That's correct.
And also a moon phase at 6 o'clock.
And also a moon phase at 6 o'clock.
Again, very cool.
Yeah.
What's the retail of this one? It's hard to say right now.
So retail used to be, I think, 90, right around 90. Right around 90. And then, I don't know. The market now is kind of crazy. So, we're seeing some popping up, above 100, some above 110, 120, and some, depending on how rare they are, in the 140, 150 range.
Wow. Yeah. And this one is lucky number 7.
This is my lucky number 7. That's right.
Nice. Yeah. A coincidence and not, probably.
It was
weird,
It cool. Just lined up. That is my number, and it just happened. And I said,
all the stars aligned.
I'm doing it.
Nice.
This is a brand that's that we also carry. We're an authorized dealer, and it's a brand that has taken off. Obviously, for a variety of different reasons. I think making 200 watches a year, doing great stuff, having a great distribution model, working with the right retail partners. And coming out with great, beautiful product, great management team with Pierre-Jacques. I think he's done an outstanding job and an incredible watchmaker.
Yes.
With Denis Flageolet, and the guy that I also have to give credit, to and a lot of thanks to Steven Rostovsky, because he was willing to take a chance on EsperLuxe and what I was doing at EsperLuxe, and Steven saw what we were doing and really believed in it, and so hopefully it was rewarded him back. So in what we've done over the last year, but this is a little bit of what we do. Obviously, it's not the only thing. So
beautiful.
If we kind of try to diversify in terms of price points, right? Like Kadoka is our entry level sort of classical German watchmaking, right? That's 10 to 15K.
Yeah.
We've got the Moritz Grossman, which is a little bit more advanced, more vertically manufactured. At their manufacturer, that's going to be in that 30 to 50K, right? And then we get to Urwerk, which is your sci-fi looking watches, and then you've got MB&F with the crazy HM creations,
and the more classical legacy machines.
And then with MB&F, it's all pre-owned pieces, or that we get for our clients. We're not an authorized dealer with MB&F, but we love the brand, and ultimately we love working with people that we enjoy working with, and products that I don't like to sell anything that I can't put my name on it. That I wouldn't buy myself if I had unlimited funds.
Yeah, and knowing you personally really well, I see this as well. I've seen the development of you. I remember seeing you and your dad at Basel for the first time, not knowing you. I'm like, wow, this guy looks cool. He had it's nice and suit and tie and everything. All the little details.
Yeah, that was probably the last time I wore a suit and tie. It's been a while.
It's been a while, and I saw you at the Emmanuel Boucher.
Well, a lot more comfortable now. So
for sure, but it's also the times have changed. So, so listen, Chris, what's your goal in the future? To get more brands or to nurture this? The boutique obviously is a big emphasis.
Yeah, I mean, look, we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. I mean, the market is really strong now, and we don't know if that'll stay like this forever. I think it could slow down. It could stay hot. We don't know. We'll take it one step at a time. Right now, the cool thing is, we definitely have our space that we're announcing soon. So I'm really excited about that with Tempest Gallery. And then maybe there's other projects that could come along in the next year to 2 years. We're revamping our website, trying to provide a better experience for our customers.
Always updating everything.
We're going to be launching a YouTube campaign this year, which we're really excited about, so that we can really push video content for our customers to educate themselves better about products. We do our hands-on closer looks, which are really great and in depth, but they're not overly long, so it's great.
Yeah.
And then collector series, which you and I just started doing now. So we'll be doing that with some of our friends and clients as well. And then if we'll see what happens from there.
Awesome.
We try to expand as much as we can.
The portfolio. Huh?
Yeah, as much as we can with our limited resources. The portfolio of brands that we take on, so that we have better product offerings and going out and hunting and finding.
Yeah, the next one. Huh?
The next one. Yeah,
nice.
Absolutely. It's part of the enjoyment for me in doing what I do.
Awesome. So Chris,
purely a passion hobby, man.
Thank you so much for coming by.
Marco, thank you so much for having me. It's great to see you again. It's great to be here. This is awesome. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
So guys, if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below and let me and Chris know which was your favorite model. If you have some questions for Chris, just go on his website. You can see the watches available. Also, you have a very cool YouTube channel. All link in the description below. So definitely go show him some love there. Let's get that number across the 1K mark, please.
We'll get that going.
We're gonna make it. I hope so.
Yeah.
As always, guys, I'm gonna see you next Friday for a new video. And until then, just keep collecting. Hello, welcome to Swiss Watchcam. Welcome to a very special video. Today we have a very good friend on the channel, Christopher Daaboul from EsperLuxe, or how I like to call you, Chris. What's up, bro? Welcome to Urwerk. That was a weird handshake, or what was that? Today's video is about independent watchmaking, collecting, and obviously meeting great friends in the industry. Today we're gonna talk about the...
Cry.
Don't cry, bro. You're on Swiss Watch Gang. It's true. So Christopher, that's it. Thank you guys for watching so much. Like and subscribe.
Oh God.
Share this video.